I'd like to take a look today on something that I think would be interesting. It is how to create a bolted connection in Inventor. Okay, it's a very handy feature and I'd like to show it to you. Okay, so we want to do something like this. We have this clamp. Some of you may have seen this before. Okay, and I have a base to it. I have a top plate and then I have a little piece up here. It is connected with a number 6 screw. Okay, also besides the screw I'm going to have a flat washer on the top and the bottom, a lock washer, and a number 6 hex nut. Okay, so I'm going to start off, okay, even though when you look at this, okay, there's going to be holes here, a hole in there, and a hole in the middle here somewhere. I'm going to let Inventor figure that out for me. Okay, so I've drawn the top clamp for this. If you'd like to follow along, you could do this. Okay, and then that little square at the top. Whoops, big jump there. And the base. Okay, so these are the parts that I'm going to be using. Okay, alright, so let's go into Inventor. Okay, here are my parts. Here's the top clamp, the square. Okay, now I didn't put the base here for a specific reason. I'm going to show you something later. Okay, but then I've made a drawing of the square, a drawing of the top plate, a drawing of the base, okay, and a drawing of the assembly. Okay, I've put a little table here and some balloons. Okay, and I've already uploaded or placed the base, the top plate, and the square, and I've constrained them. Okay, so like I said, here is our assembly. Here are our 3 pieces all constrained. Okay, now the first thing I want to do is I want to put a number 6 screw in here with the proper washers and nut. Okay, so I can do this a couple of different ways. I can put the holes in here. Okay, but I'm going to let Inventor put the holes in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my parts here. The reason I'm doing that is that when I go to edit this, if the drawing's open, it will just hop over there. I want to show you that you can edit the part while you're in the assembly. Okay, so I want to put the bolts through this part, so I'm going to double click on it. Okay, and it allows me, okay, it puts the focus on that part. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new sketch on that part. Okay, now I'm just going to put some points here for reference, and it will allow me to put our bolts in relation to those points. So I'm going to put a point here. Okay, and I'm going to go along the center. And I'll put it right about there, and I'll put one here. Okay, I'll dimension those from this point to there is going to be 0.280, and then between those two is going to be 1.94. Okay, and then I'm going to finish the sketch. Okay, now what I do is I go up here and I hit return to go back into my drawing. Alright, so I'm going to go up here to design. Remember we looked, if you saw that video, on creating shafts and gears. Okay, but I'm going to make a bolted connection. Okay, now if I wanted to, I could just pick linear, and I could have given the dimension from this point to that point and from that point to that point. Okay, or I could do concentric. If I have some kind of circle, I can make it concentric to that circle. I can do it with a point, which is what we're going to do, or I could line it up with a hole that already exists in there. Okay, so I'm going to do it on a point. Now we have two types. Okay, we're going to go through everything, or we're going to go into a blind hole. Okay, the first one we're going to do are these two here, and we're going to go through everything. Later we're going to go through a blind hole, and we're going to do that linearly. Okay, and we'll do it from there. So I'm going to do it from point. Okay, the first thing it wants is a start plane. Okay, and the start plane is where we're going to start that process, and it's right on that face. Okay, and Inventor is smart enough to know that you want it to go down, not up. Okay, now I'm going to pick the points. So I have a point there. Notice again it moved to down. I go back to points. I click on this point. Okay, now I put what size hole I want. So I want a number 6. So here's a number 6, which is a 138 diameter hole. All right, once I have that, okay, I tell it, whoops, I'm in blind spot, so I have to go here. Okay, so I need to go to termination, and I'm going to tell it where it's going to end. I'm going to go here. I'm going to click on the bottom, termination. Okay, and you can see, I'm going to flip this around a little bit, that it already put the holes in there. Okay, so I'm all ready to start putting my hardware, and you'll see that I have a hole in the first piece and a hole in the second piece. Okay, so now you'll see that when I do that, okay, again, here are my two pieces. Okay, this is the hole that's put in there. Like I said, the diameter of the thread is 138, so it's going to put a hole in here of 150. Okay, so here we can click on a fastener. Okay, so we're going to add a fastener. Okay, it's going to pop up. Okay, and it'll give us some categories of things we want. Here are regular bolts. Okay, we also have hex head bolts. We have socket heads. Okay, and we're going to go to hex head bolts, and we are going to pick a plain hex head machine screw. Okay, you'll notice that it even figured out the length that it should be. Okay, and it already did that. You'll see the outline of the hex head here. Okay, now you'll see that again, here are my two pieces. Now I can put another fastener up top here, which would be up on this surface, or I could put one down the bottom, which would be under this surface. Okay, I'm going to put a flat washer here, so I'm going to pick add a fastener. Okay, now again, it's so smart it knows that we put a hex head there, and it's giving us washers. Okay, so all I want is a plain washer. Okay, so I have the hex head, the washer, the bolt coming through here. Now I'm going to add down the bottom. So I'm going to pick add a fastener. Okay, again, I'm going to pick a flat washer. I'm going to go down again and pick a fastener. Okay, now it thinks, well, you should be done. You should put a nut on there, but I want a lock washer. So I'm going to hit down here and go back to washers. Okay, and I'm just going to pick a regular spring lock washer. Okay, now I've put two washers there. I'm going to add a fastener. Okay, now I'm going to put my machine screw nut there, my hex machine screw. Okay, now while you're doing these, okay, if you are figuring out all the forces and you're doing something like a stress analysis, okay, you can figure out these and whether or not it's going to meet it or not, and then you can change it accordingly. Also, you can do fatigue calculations on here, okay, for when the fatigue is going to give up. Okay, so I can pick calculate, and it should be done. And I go to design here, Okay, now I can change anything I want. Okay, I can add another template library if I have one. Okay, but I'm going to pick OK. Okay, now it's going to make a subassembly. Okay, called bolted connection. Okay, now I can change where it puts that. Okay, so it automatically puts it in Design Accelerator. But I'm going to take and I'm going to put it, I guess Design Accelerator is fine. And there's bolted connection. I'm going to pick Save. I'll pick OK. Okay, and there is our completed bolt assembly. Okay, now if I want to get rid of those dimensions, I can just go over here to that sketch. Number 5 was the one we put that in, and then just put change the visibility. Okay, now one of the impressive things about this, one of the things that I really like, is that once I have this, okay, and I've made my design, if I go to, for example, the base drawing, okay, you'll see that it put the holes there. Okay, automatically put the holes there. So I could go to annotate, okay, and I can put some dimensions on there, put some center lines here. Okay, and then I'll just go up here. I'll leave these, you know what I put center lines there. So I'm just going to go, okay, I thought I put center lines there. Okay, then I'm going to dimension it. So I'll dimension from there to that center line. And then I'll go from center line to center line. Okay, I can save that if I want. Now again, want to know if I want to change dependence, and I do. Okay, and here is my top plate drawing, and you'll see that that has those holes in there as well. Okay, real quick, I'm just going to put those in there. Okay, and I'll dimension those as well. And I'll go from here to the center, right there. I'll go from center to center. Whoops, looks like I missed that one. Center to center, drag that up here. Okay, and hit escape, and I'll just drag this guy up there a little bit. Okay, and again, you notice that it put the holes here, and it put them there. Now I can go here, and I have to go back and do it on the other one as well. So I'll click there, and there is the 150. Here's my base drawing. I can go here, okay, and add it there. Okay, now what I wanted to show you is now if I go, oops, okay, here is my clamp assembly. I'm going to save it, say yes to all the dependencies. Now if I go and open the base drawing, which was not there, okay, which is this one here, okay, you can already see the holes have been added. Okay, if I go to my clamp assembly, you'll see that before I had 3 parts here, now it added all of these in. Okay, so it automatically added those to my drawing. Okay, now let's take a look at putting, we're going to put a flathead screw in here. Okay, so I'm going to go up here to bolted connection again. I'm going to make sure I pick, okay, that I have a blind hole in here. Okay, now this time I'm going to pick linear. Okay, and I'm going to pick this part here. Okay, whoops, I picked that edge, and that's what I want to do. The linear edge. Well, let me cancel that and go back in here. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to linear. Okay, the start plane is here again. Okay, make sure that I am here with the blind hole. Okay, and I'm going to go to linear edge. Okay, and I'm going to pick this linear edge, and that's more like it. It wants to know how far it is. Okay, that whole thing is 0.63, so I'll put divided by 2. Okay, then my second linear edge is here, and I'll do the same thing, 0.63 divided by 2. Okay, and now it has my spot where I'm ready for that. Okay, so now it wants to know the blind start plane. I'm going to pick the blind start plane, and that is going to be this plane right here. Okay, and it needs to know the size, and maybe I'll change this to a number 8, I don't know. So I'll put a number 8 there. Okay, I'm going to click add on a fastener. Okay, and now I'm going to go down and I want a countersink bolt. Okay, and I can put a slotted countersink cap screw, which should be fine. I'm going to pick that. I don't need any washers, and I just pick OK. Okay, that's where it's going to put it. I'm going to pick OK again. Okay, now you see that I have my screw there. Okay, if I go down now to my clamp assembly, okay, you'll see that that screw is here. Okay, let's see, the base drawing into anything, the top plate. Okay, you'll see that now it has a tapped hole here. Now I want it in the other direction, so I can go here and I can switch this guy around so it's shown the correct way there, and pick OK. And notice it not only drew a circle with the thread in there, it also put the one in the hidden view. Okay, now again I can go here into annotate, hole and thread. I can pick this hole right here. Okay, now this one here did get a little messed up, so I can just take this guy and move him right down there. Okay, now on the square drawing, same thing. Okay, I can go here. Let's change this around so that we have the right view there, and that's good. Okay, now for some reason our dimension went away, so I'll have to put that one back. I'll put dimension here, thickness here, which I might have left off. Okay, and then again, this is going to pick up everything. Tells it it's a 180 diameter. It is 130 thousandths deep. There is a countersink here that is 0.33 times 82 degrees. Okay, so it took care of all of that for us. Again, back in the clamp assembly drawing, it now put that screw there. Okay, there's the screw. Okay, and we're all ready to fix that. So I can fix up my table here a little bit. Okay, if I double click on it to go into it. Okay, I might want to change some of these so I don't have 2 rows here. Okay, so let's see, this one here, I don't need to tell it's an inch. Excuse me. Okay, take care of that one. What else we have? Okay, this bottom one here, I don't need this specification here. Okay, and I pick OK. Now it's come down to where we can see it better. Alright, now I just noticed that probably the diameter of these flat washers are too small. Okay, they're almost just a little bit bigger than the head of the screw. So I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to fix that. So I'm going to go into my assembly. Okay, and you'll see that this whole thing is one object. So I'm going to just highlight it, right click and pick Edit using Design Accelerator. Okay, now again it goes back to where I was here. Now if I click on the plane washer, okay, I could go here where the X is and delete it. I go where the three dots are. If I go to the three dots are, now it allows me to pick other ones. Okay, that diameter was 312. Okay, maybe I want to make it 562. Okay, and I'll pick OK. And the third one is this little down arrow here. And if I want to change that component completely, which I don't. Okay, so now I want to do the same at the bottom. I'll go to the three dots. I'm going to change this to 562. I'm going to pick OK. Pick OK. Now you'll see that I have bigger washers. Okay, and it is, you notice that it was updated on my drawing. Okay, and you'll see that if I go here that, you know, I want these not to be 6s. I want those to be number 8s. So I'm going to go Edit Design Accelerator again. Okay, here's my machine screw. I'm going to go here. Okay, and if I wanted to change the length, I could change the length there. I could change the pitch diameter. Okay, the threads, but I don't want to do that. What I want to change is here. I want to go down and I want to make this a number 8. Okay, notice it changed all those to a number 8. I'm going to pick OK. Okay. And back in my clamp assembly, you'll see that everything has changed to a number 8. Okay, I want to look at this and say, oh, you know what, I want to do this by hand, so I'm going to change these and I'm going to change them. Instead of having the machine nut, I'm going to make it, I don't know, I'll make it a wing nut. Okay, and I'll pick OK. Alright, now you'll see that I have wing nuts here. Okay, again, if I go back to my clamp assembly, okay, they have been updated to show the wing nuts. Okay, so again, that is a handy feature that we can use in here, and that is it.